What's going on, guys? This is Travesty here, and today I am bringing you week 8 of the MGL. So we are now 4-3. I believe we're 3rd or 4th, somewhere around there, and basically locked for playoffs. And our opponent this week is going to be Elfowls, so make sure you go check them out in the description as well. They're also locked for playoffs. So the only thing this decides is seeding, which I'm not too worried about because just beat whoever you end up facing, you know? Like, it's hard to predict. It's not like we get to choose our opponents or anything. It is like a 1v8, 2v7 kind of seeded tournament, single elimination playoff bracket. And we can't control everyone else's results, so like it's not like we can line up who we want to play and who we don't want to play, etc. And you just got to beat whoever's in front of you. So with that said, I'm going to have a few things in this team builder that are a little bit less serious, if that makes sense. I guess they're all legitimate sets. It's a thing that I think legitimately can work, but it's definitely a bit more tenuous. And I have some things in my back pocket for if there is a rematch, things I would rather bring instead. So we'll see sort of how it goes in the battle, but you'll see in the team builder some pretty bonkers stuff coming on. So starting off, we have a Scarf Moxie Scraggy. This is just pretty good into Elfowls' team. Fighting coverage is pretty good. As you can see, the matchup below me, they don't have a fighting resist. So if Scraggy can get a Moxie off with a close combat, we're in really good shape. We have Dragon Claw just to be able to hit the Jungmo a little bit harder. I think CC actually hits stronger, but it's like, honestly, I'm just clicking CC every single time. The other moves I don't even need. I almost considered going like high jump kick as well, and then like brick break in case I just triple fighting stab. Knockoff is just in case something goes to TERA Ghost, or if we just want to knock something ironed off, and Iron Head is just for TERA Fairy. We're basically just going to be clicking CC. Dragon Claw, if we can get an unstabbed Dragon coverage kill, then we win the whole league. So, you know, we're just bringing that. We are just max speed Jolly, because that allows us to speed tie with things like the Clauncher, and the Jungmo O, I believe, Inkay. Basically, if any of those things are scarfed, or speed tie with them. We will get outsped by anything faster than that. I think anything faster than Quaxley, so like Tinkertink, Sprigatito, Toadschool, and Doduo will still outspeed. But yeah, this thing just 2-hit KOs basically the entire team. Then we have Satoddle to see me Toddin, bringing a really interesting set this week. A bulky, thick, fat Violite set, but still like max attack, max speed. This then puts us in that same speed tier as Scraggy at that 15 speed points. Ice Spinner and EQ just do so much damage to all of this team. Like, there is nothing that appreciates switching in. Like, a Violite Clauncher might be able to switch into an EQ, but it'll still take a decent chunk, and then we can just go from there. We do have Protect on this set as well, because there's no real other coverage move that I wanted, and Protect just allows us to scout out for like Terras, or if we know something is choice, for example, and it comes into Revenge Us, we can scout to see if it locks itself into, like with Jojo, for example, does it lock itself into Brave Bird or Double Edge? And then we go into our respective way to deal with that. Ice Spinner, just because I don't want to miss an Icicle Crash, and we're not running Sheer Force, so we don't get the extra power. And then Thick Fat means we can basically 1v1 Fuecoco, because Flamethrower won't be doing over half, and EQ should be, it's like a roll to 2-shot depending on how defensive they are, but if we're a boosting item, we do just 2-shots, so they might not want to go into it anyway. Yeah, so that's going to be Satoddle, and then Ice Shard, just nice priority. Some of their faster threats, like the Toadschool and the Doduo, are really weak to Ice Shards, so that's really good to have. Then we have, now's when we start getting into the more memey stuff. Yeah, look at this set. We have Room Surface Trick Room Drifloon. So Inkay is a real threat, but I think it doesn't want to be scarfed because then it can't switch up moves, and it kind of wants to run like Superpower, Dual Stab, and then it has room for one more move, and so I'm kind of expecting Trick Room might come. And so I'm bringing my own Trick Room mons to kind of counter that, but also if I do go Trick Room up, we can go to town. So Drifloon here, we have the room service to make sure that we're slower, because otherwise things like Fuecoco and the Alolan Geodude can actually be slower than a min speed Drifloon without the room service. And also because that will then proc our acrobatics boost, so we can go for that. Obviously we can't really touch the Tinkertink, but we'll just blow up or Destiny Bond if they go into Tink. and try and deal with it that way. And then we'll go into our actual Trick Room sweeper, which is Wooper. I will say this thing is even HP here. They could bring rocks, but I'm not expecting this thing to switch in multiple times, so I don't really care if it takes that 1 extra damage from rocks, and if they don't bring rocks, it's just like the extra EVs don't help with bulk anywhere else, so there was just nothing else I wanted to do with them. Then we have Life Orb Special Wooper as our Trick Room sweeper. This thing is guaranteed slower than anything on their team. Earth Power and Earthquake are like roughly equivalently strong. So I decided to go special because Ice Beam is a lot stronger than Avalanche when we're planning to be moving first with Trick Room. And then just like with Sotodle, that coverage is really, really good into their team. And then just Hydro Pump in case you just need to nuke something like an Inkay that's a Violite or something like that. We can just click Hydro Pump and do a whole bunch of damage. And basically everything else just dies to these 2 moves. I think Clauncher will take like 2, but it'll take a good amount from Earth Power. So basically, if we can get Trick Room up, we should be able to claim like 3 with Wooper, and then everything else on this team is basically built to clean up after a Trick Room has been set up. After it expires, I mean. We have Spikes, the 4th move. Like, honestly, I'm just running Earth Power Ice Beam, and then Hydro Pump is like very niche case, and Spikes is like if Trick Room's gone, and we just click Spikes on something just to get a Spike up and see what happens. You know, it's a luxury. It's not something I'm really relying on this week. Then we have more standard stuff, Choice Scarf, Score Bunny, just like with Scraggy, with no fighting resist. Choice Scarf High Drum Kick is just really good into this team. And then Flare Blitz is also my best option to nuke the Tinkertink. U-Turn is then just pretty good, you know, initiative, helps to handle the Inkay as well if it is just like a Scarf set. Even if they get a +1 super power, U-Turn should be doing over half, and we can U-turn out into something else. And then Sucker Punch, again, I didn't really need a 4th move. Sucker Punch is just nice priority for something that's Scarf that's running out of control, or like Young Mo if it's like Scale Shot, gets to negative defenses, something like that. Or to revenge like a Scarf Duo or a Quaxley that's getting out of control. Lots of like fast offensive threats on this person's, on Elfowls team. So Sucker Punch just could be good to revenge something that gets brought low. And then we have TERA Ice Blitzle here, running just physical Blitzle with Flame Charge to try and, once we do get a Flame Charge up, we'll outspeed everything. We speed tie with the Doduo and are faster than anything else, so if we get a Flame Charge up, we're faster than all Scarfers as well. Supercell Slam's just really good neutral damage into most things, and then Terra Blast Ice handles the Toadstool, the Sprigatito, and the Yangmo-O, which are the things that resist Supercell, and then there's the Alolan Geodude, which you have Double Kick for. Double Kick will bypass Sturdy as well, and if they're not a Violite, it has a roll to just Oko, so we only need like a tiny bit of chip to put that into Guaranteed. And yeah, so that's going to be the team. Like I said, I really hope the room service trick room thing procs, because that'd be really, really funny. And I really want room service. When I first came back to like competitive Pokemon, I was like, oh, that's such a cool item, and it just doesn't work as well as you hope. Like I tried running in, like, we're gonna get really sidetracked here. I think in Reg G VGC, I tried hatching a like Terapagos Oranguru team where Oranguru went for Trick Room and Terapagos got Room Service to slow it down, while after it got a Calm Mind up, and then Oranguru would pass it at Choice Specs, and then you just Terra and go for Terra Starstorm and Instruct and just destroy everything. And the idea was like, because with Room Service you would then be slower than all the common stuff like Iron Hands, Ursaluna, Calyrex Ice Rider, and you're still not slower with Terapagos at level 50, which is really annoying. So yeah, it's a really niche item, and I really want it to work, and this is like a way that it can work. And obviously we have to run non-unburdened, because otherwise we just lower our speed to then double it again. Sorry, I am sick as well. Yeah, so I hope that works out. Otherwise, I think we have a pretty solid matchup here. I mean, having a strong, effectively two strong fighting types with Score Bunny getting Libero as well, it's really, really good into this team, so that really helps. We have nothing for Doduo, but I don't think anyone really does, so we'll just play around that. And yeah, so let's head over to the battle and see how this goes. Okay, here with the battle against Elfowls. That looks pretty much like what I was expecting. No Toadstool was nice, but it didn't really bring hazards. I mean, we sort of brought hazards, but we didn't really bring hazards. The Clauncher is Terra Fairy, so Terra Fairy Fairy Blast will annihilate Scraggy, but that's alright. I do not have anything for Doduo, just outright. So I kind of want to lead. I don't have Volt Switch on Blitzle. I guess we could find out if they're Scarf straight away if we go with you. Or we could just lead Sotodle. Sotodle's pretty fine into everything. Because I feel like he might just lead the Doduo and try and get damage. So I'm going to lead Sotodle actually. Like I said, we are both locked for playoffs, so make sure you go check out Elfowls in the description, because they'll be uploading playoff games for this as well. I hope they remake that trainer card with the shiny Chiyu, because that comes out soon. Twin Beaks, that's going to be the Doduo. Sick. So I don't think you want to stay in here. Shard does so much, and like Brave Bird isn't killing. So I think I just want to click. Do I want to predict early and click EQ? Because I reckon you probably pivot into Clauncher. So yeah, I'm gonna go for EQ off rip. I don't think you stay in here. There's no way you stay in. If I'm like Life Orb, you just die. To an Ice Shard. Potentially. Maybe not. Oh yeah, we're predicting turn 1? Maybe. But let's see what they go into. Coconut, look at me for Coco. It doesn't even get to it head, okay. We at least made the call. I'm pretty sure it's a roll to 2-shot though, even on like fully Fizz Death. 88.7% chance to 2-hit KO. If you have no HP, if you do have HP, it's only 11% chance. I'm actually going to stay in and EQ again, because we are a Violate and Thick Fat, so there's not a lot this can actually do to us. They could just slack off, but it looks like there's one roll where we kill potentially. Depends on the investment. Yeah, they live on. Looks like one. They're just going to slack off. I'm just going to keep doing this because we'll eventually get a crit. And if you're back into Doduo, that's fine. Nothing else really wants to take this. They just keep you low. Looks like it's absolutely fully Fizz Death as well. Goes for Willow. Looks like Will-O-Wisp. That's alright. So now that I'm burned. Oh my god, Ice Spin I might not even kill. If they've got 2 HP, Ice Spin I might not even kill. That's so stupid. I think we just click EQ. We don't risk it. I don't think you preserve this thing. Yeah. Okay. So it dies to Sotodle. And if we were Life Orb, I'm pretty sure EQ just KO'd outright there. Like 2-shot from... Yeah. Oh well. We got rid of the Fur Coco. We can keep that in our back pocket for a potential playoffs rematch. So let's see what they go into here. Pretty much no matter what it is, I'm just going to click Ice Shard and get my damage, because there's not a lot of point preserving this now that we're burned. If you hear any whining noises or anything, that's Squid Games, that's going to be the InK. So I reckon you're going to go for the free superpower here, and I actually don't want you to get the boost off. So either going to superpower or Trick Room, I reckon. So I'm going to make a ballsy ass play and go into my Drifloon. We can keep Sotodle as a sack now. Or just, you know, Burned Ice Shard still does a lot to like Doduo. And I just don't want you getting the +1/+1. Yeah, there's the superpower. as expected, but you don't get the boost, and that's important. So, if you're Trick Room, we'll outspeed you, but if you're not Trick Room, you'll outspeed us. This is such a dumb set. This is not what I should have brought, honestly. And if you're a Violet, we're still not doing a lot. So I'm gonna click Destiny Bond and see. I just go for knockoff. That just KOs. Well. They're gonna see that we were room service and slow. So probably not Trick Room. So you do get taken down. How do I want to revenge you? I think we just go Score Bunny and click U-turn, right? Can we tell anything from... Like, I'm pretty sure knockoff just always kills. Yeah. Cool, we just click U-turn here. So it looks like they are max attack Adam, and we can't really tell. We know they're not scarfed. So probably a Violet, which is what I expected, like a bulkier Violet set. But this is the freest U-turn of our lives. I'm sad the room service didn't pop off. It was a dumb idea, but it was fun. We could see the Clauncher here, in which case we can get a bit of an idea of their investment. Yeah. So it should do like 25 to just... Yeah, that looks offensive. Cool. Now... Will we water absorb? Yeah. So if you go TERA Fairy, you do take a slam. If I go Wooper, are we taking anything? We're taking stuff from a Scarf one. I'm just gonna go Wooper. Okay, so that took a bit more like 30 from the U-turn, which looks like maybe just a high roll. If you don't TERA, I kind of have to click Earth Power. Which looks like a roll. This tier is so many rolls. I could get up a spike here. On... something. I don't think you go Doduo. I reckon you probably just go Inkay. Like, maybe TERA, you turn into Inkay. It's gonna Raw Aura Sphere. It does a lot, but this should put it down. Yeah. So we die to another one, so we know it has Aura Sphere, but this thing is weakened. I imagine Doduo has to be Scarf for the Scraggy. I'll just click Spikes. Okay, let's go Aura Sphere again. So Blitzle with Flame Charge is not going to take it out. That's probably Scarfed. I can just go Score Bunny and U-turn out into something. Or how much is Blitzle taking from an Aura Sphere? A lot, unfortunately. We'll take it. It doesn't look like it's boosting item, but it will take so much damage if you're Scarfed. Oh, I had us as burned. Lol, that carried over from the other thing. See, it would have just died to a slam. Okay, so this thing does die to a flame charge. Is that what I want to do? I can charge up on the Tinker Tink, I think. So what do you have to take a hit from this now? Like if you go Duo gets 2 it KO'd, Tinker Tink gets 2 it KO'd, Inkay gets 2 it KO'd. So probably Young Maw can take 2 actually pretty comfortably. But even if you TERA Fairy now, yeah, U-turn, 5-10, U-turn might not kill. I'm gonna click high jump kick here. We don't miss. Probably go into Dodo now if they're scuffed. So that was probably the Scarfer. Yeah. Alright, what are my options here? I think we go Sotodle. Yeah. Like, we'll get 2 at KO, but we can get off good damage. And if they're Scarf, we actually might not get 2 at KO'd. Let's go for Brave Bird. We'll see. We'll see what they go for. This thing is a threat. So fast, so powerful. Yeah, this is going to be the Brave Bird. Do we see... So that did 16. So we should be able to tell if that's like Sharp Beak or anything. Looks like probably just Scarfed. I'm going to take my chip with Ice Shard here. We do die to a second Brave Bird. And if they go Inkay, they go Inkay. It's whatever. We'll get our chip on that as well. But keeping around Sucker Punch is nice. Okay, we get our Ice Shard off, it does a good amount. And probably just Brave Birds. Yep. This thing's now pretty low. So I think now is the time we go Blitzle. The duo, so we should take a Brave Bird. We don't like it, but we take it. Jesus, that does so much. It does so much damage. That's absurd. This is a resisted hit, but we can just safely Flame Charge here. Not going to TERA because we want to keep our resistance. Brave Bird legitimately does like 75%. That's resisted. That's so stupid. They might try and preserve this, but I doubt it. I think they probably just take their kill or damage. Dodo KO's Sotodle. So Sotodle went 1-1. Launcher went 1-1. Inkay is 1-0. Dodo is currently 1-0. do switch. So they preserve the duo. Where do they go into? Inkay? I don't think it's going to take a Supercell afterwards. Oh, absolutely not. That did so much more than I expected. And we don't need to TERA yet. Unfortunately, another Flame Charge won't KO, but I can just slam. So now we at least speed tie the Doduo, which is probably Scarfed, and we can KO it with a Sucker Punch, so that's good to know. Nice, so Inkay goes down. And I believe we're still not in range of a Brave Bird from Doduo. Might be in range of a knockoff, but I think Brave Bird does more, actually. Yeah, Brave Bird does more than knockoff, like you said. So probably going to see the Tink here, if I had to guess. Or Youngmo can come in. Probably the Tink, though. Because if it's not a Violite on Youngmo, then it just dies. So Fuecoco is definitely a Violite. Was Inkay? Were you not a Violite, or just not Vulcan vested? Actually, no, yeah, so Inkay was a Violite. Alright, so we're going to risk the speed tie. I'm not going to risk the miss, I'm just going to click Flame Charge. I have no reason not to. This should kill every time. Nice. Okay. So Blitzle's going to go nuts here. So it now has to be the Tink. But I think Scarf Scraggy can clean up here. Like, I don't think... because Inkay and Fuecoco look like they're a Violite. So what item is Youngmo? Because it looks like we've taken out the two Scarfers and the two Violite users. If they did KO me there... Actually, I don't even think Brave Bird KO'd. But... Brave Bird... Choice Scarf. But either way, I would have just gone into... yeah, so we still lived a Brave Bird anyway. I have no reason not to just click Supercell Slam on this and get my damage, I think. If you're not a Violite, this should do a lot. That's certainly a lot. They probably KO us back with like Draining Kiss, knock off. Doesn't KO. So it could be in here. I'm just going to click Flame Charge again, just to not risk the miss. Oh wait, I'm not Life Orb anymore, but it should be fine. Yeah, that takes it out. Based on the damage that Slam was doing, there's no way that I'd take the Flame Charge. Now it's just the Dargan. So we always just Terra Ice, Terra Blast on this thing. So we have no Life Orb anymore. So they will live a Terra Blast if they are... I'll just put down this... Oh, that's me terroring. I was like, wait, Jangmo can't Terra, that's me. Dies to Blitzle. Man, I wish I was Fairy right now. Oh wait, it's just Mono Dragon, it doesn't make a difference. So, we'll see how much this Terra Blast does. It probably won't KO. Unless you're not a Violet. Oh, it just KOs. Just KOs. That might have been a roll. But either way, I think there was a 75% chance to OHKO if they were just offensive. So, GG's to Elfowls. Blitzle is a monster. Oh my god. I didn't expect... I mean, we won a speed tie, which definitely swung the game in our favor. because then I would have been forced to go Skull Bunny and Sucker, or they probably would have died to Recall. Actually, no, because it would have brought us down low, and then we would have died to Life Orb Recall. So Blitzle still would have taken out the Doduo, and we still would have been in a good spot. But definitely would have changed things a little bit. So we take those. So another solid win to finish off. I think that puts us as like first or second. No, not first seed. It'll put us as second or third seed, depending on other results. So that's pretty good. Pretty happy with a 5-3 season. Just sad I didn't get the Trick Room tech off, but you know, good thing to keep in our back pocket. Daisy, do you want to say hi to the people? No, she wants to run away. All right, I'll see you guys next week for first round of playoffs.